Yeah, welcome back. Today, I'll be discussing the microchip or radio frequency identification (RFID). And before I proceed today, I will quickly like to educate you on the pioneers of the invention of microchips or RFID. Jack Kilby, which he has already deceased, he died at the age of 81, and Robert Noyce. They are the two pioneers that invented microchip or radio frequency identification. Their own invention, they made it for a particular reason, which I'm not going to go into. But when the government take over, the government try to use it for a different reason. But like I said, I'll be presenting you with some facts. So I'm not one of the conspiracy theories. I'm not one of them. I'm just a scholar that want to give you the information and educate you. And before I proceed, what is RFID or microchips? It's very simple. It's a tracking device, or let me say a device to be specific, that can contain or store your data. What did I mean by data? For example, your information, your date of birth, your credit card information, your driver's license information, and your social security card information, which will enable you to work, and also your passport. All this data can be stored on these devices, and these devices look like a small grain of rice. And how do you get it? It has to be injected in your body. So that's how you get it. So moving forward, I've seen a different videos from different news outlets trying to corroborate and trying to bring to the media, to the masses attention on where we are heading. We are heading to a new world called a cashless society, where you don't need to go with your credit card. And if you are very conscious of not being oblivious of your surrounding, if you look at your credit card or your debit card, at the back of it, different companies design it in a different way. Some will put the microchips inside the debit or your credit card. Is that it be in the front or at the back? And what is it meant for? That is like a tracking device, because anywhere you go, they have a satellite that, they have an antenna that can be transmitting the information to them of your well-being. And in this video, I will share some video with you. At the same time, I will also, educate you on what is going on in the world out there. So one of the screen I will share first is this, and I'm going to be sharing the screen with in Toronto. So let's go to Toronto, where the government were trying to sensitize the citizen. And you will see on the screen with me, you will see it, this is coming from toronto.com. Would you sign up for a digital ID in Ontario? Here is what you need to know. And just to give you a quick recap on this information from Toronto, and this is Canadian government for people that doesn't know where Toronto is located. Toronto is located in Ontario. So, and Ontario is like a state in the United States. So according to this information, this project, will come to fruition, starting the beginning of January next year. And you also need to do your own research, because one of these days I was watching the news in Toronto, and I see where the mayor was trying to implore or encourage or sensitize the citizen on the importance of digital ID, telling them that, oh, if they want to go and see a doctor, they don't need to wait, making a phone call. As soon as they get that chips, and all that information are being compressed and inserted in that chip, stored in that chips, and they put it in their body, they can do everything from the chips. So, and the question is, why do you need it? So that question is left over for you to answer. So that is not my job to answer that question for you, but I'm just giving you what is going on in the world, what the different governments, where they are heading, the direction where they were heading. So you see it is on the screen. You see they said last month the Ontario government announced plan for a new digital identity project with a tentative launch for the end of 2021 and consultation beginning in January. And what year? January next year. So, and they talk about a plan, so you can peruse it at your own leisure time and try to take a look at it. Moving forward again, we want to go to Sweden, and just to show you that Sweden is ahead of the game. This is 2020. Some have been taking these chips in their hands in Sweden. And let me pull up this video for you. This video is from Al Jazeera, and let me see what year the video was uploaded. This was in 2019. So just take a look and listen.
Latest advance in a biohacking technology that is steadily becoming a part of normal life in Sweden.
We have created a new implant, which is not a chip, it's a full device where you can add different lights, different vibration, different functions. Sweden is a very tech-literate society. And I think this is the main explanation, really, why a lot of Swedes are adopting chip implants.
Swedes haven't been shy about upgrading themselves with the new version. Thousands already have microchip implants that they use in their daily lives, waving their hand to gain entrance to the gym, confirm their ID or make payments. A short moment of pain not putting them off becoming part Swede, part machine. This event is an implant party, simply where ordinary people can show up and get a microchip embedded under their skin. The biohacking movement in Sweden is hosting them all over Europe, but it's at home where they get the most willing recipients.
I think it's really cool. You don't have to carry any keys or anything. It's just your body. In maybe 10 years, everything will be in your hand.
So moving forward, I also want to show you another video in Sweden again, and this one is coming from the NBC News in October 2019. This guy is a banker, just to also listen again to what the guy has to say.
He doesn't need ID, and he doesn't need money. In fact, much of what he needs to get through the day is hidden right there, just below the surface, in his hand.
You like to touch it?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Oh, weird. Yeah, it's like a grain of rice.
Yeah, a grain of rice.
Embedded in his hand is a microchip that serves as his keys, his ID, and his wallet.
Yeah, it's all in chip, so I use it like to get around the building.
Buy snacks.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's buy some snacks. Exactly. So I can't open it.
No.
Okay.
So what I need to do is I need to first blip my chip, and it will log me in, and from there I get access to the fridge.
Popular TV shows like Black Mirror have imagined chips as part of a dystopian future.
Install ingrain procedure with local anesthetic and you're good to go.
In Sweden, the microchips are already here.
The microchip implants use the same technology that's in contactless credit cards,
which have made cash pretty much obsolete in Sweden.
No cash.
At this tech fair, a chipping event for those on the cutting edge, merging their hands with this new technology.
I thought.
So that is just showing you what is going on. Moving forward to, do you know that in the United States, I'll also show you another video in the United States, one complaint, his name is Jake. And let me go and look for that video for you to hear what the government is trying to do. They are trying to give people vaccine, but according to the director of that organization, he said his job is to just to manufacture the syringes, and inside the syringes they have a microchips out they put it outside just to know how many people will be vaccinated. And according to the information the CEO gave, he said by end of this 2020 there will be distributing 100 million to vaccine the American people, and by end of next year, they'll be distributing 350 million in production. And the question is, why do you have to put the microchips in the syringes? For what purpose? Well, according to the CEO of that company, he said the reason they want to put the microchips, in that syringes is to enable the governments to keep a track of how many citizens have been vaccinated, which I find alarming. So I will walk you through again and let you also see the video that I'm talking about. And here, let me go and look for the video. Let me see if I can find it over here. So here's the video. So I want you to also listen.
Massive numbers. Joining me now is Jay Walker. He's the CEO of Apiject, a company that entered into a $138 million deal with the Trump administration called Project Jumpstart. Welcome, Mr. Walker.
Glad to be here, Lori.
So what is Project Jumpstart?
Well, Project Jumpstart is an emergency and temporary program in the battle against COVID-19. It's a public-private partnership between my company, Apiject Systems of America, and the Department of Health and Human Services and the Department of Defense. And its purpose is to ensure that by year end, we'll have at least 100 million doses ready to inject of a vaccine or therapeutic, assuming one is available.
And now you are going to be making these pre-filled syringes for the vaccines. What's the problem with glass vial systems of manufacturing and delivering vaccines?
Well, there's no problem with glass vials. They work wonderfully, except when you need hundreds of millions of them all at once. The supply chain for glass vials requires not only that you have all of those vials and all the materials that go with it, but it requires that you have extremely specialized filling equipment to fill all those vials. All of that equipment is currently busy. It works on cancer drugs and other life-saving drugs. There is no excess capacity to fill 100 million, 150 million or more with a new vaccine. Therefore, the U.S. government has stepped out and said, we'll need to use another way to make sure that that vaccine can be delivered to people who want it.
So how exactly does Apiject work?
Well, if you've ever used an eyedropper where you in your eye take a little squeeze bottle, that technology is called blow, fill, seal. And that is exactly the same technology we're using. There are eyedropper facilities in the U.S., not many, but a few, that we are going to upgrade so they can handle vaccines. Then what will happen is those facilities will make the containers right here that will hold the vaccine. We will add a needle hub to them, and voila, you have a pre-filled.
You look at it on his hands. So that is
a syringe that's ready to use.
So where will they be manufactured, and what is significant about that now and going forward?
So that is that for the rest of you. I want you guys to listen. That is why I'm showing you that video so you can see what is going on in the world. So be prepared, be conscious, don't be naive, don't be myopic. So I'm giving you that information. I will be making some more video on the reason why the 5G, why everything is interconnected. I already made the video before on coronavirus. So as time goes on, I will let you know. So be prepared, This to me, I said, the question is who will be controlling the data? When someone chips you in your hands and have a total control of your information. And remember, this devices is working on electromagnetic field, which they have to be transmitting something. So have you ever think about the implication, the health implication, and thinking about the totalitarianism or total control, absolute control of your information? So how do you know if your data is safe in the right hand? What about the people that can track it? So those are the questions that needs to be coming through your head as a scholar on, do you want to take it or you don't want to take it? But the question is left over for you to answer. And the world is moving towards a what? A